Stories from the Storm is a project of the Houston Flood Museum in partnership with Houston Public Media and is supported by Houston Endowment. Visit houstonfloodmuseum.org.
So I don't know if it's something that happens to you whenever you go through like a tragic event, but every time I would like wear my clothes or have it in my backpack, I just smelled water. So whenever I went to school and having that piece of like a memento, like a horrific thing, because it's like something that you don't want to like remember.
So we got back to school and I was walking through the hallways that day during lunch and I was like asking how everybody was doing. And then you started telling me your story. Do you remember like what you told me that day?
So when we came back to school, my mom was just like, okay, we'll try to get things back to normal. And we just wanted to get back to our lives. So we didn't really want to have anyone start asking us so many questions. And so whenever like you came, I was just like, should I answer like honestly or should I just leave it with like, yeah, I'm okay. And I was like, okay, well, I guess our house got flooded. Things don't look the same way anymore. There's mold in the walls. There's things that are kind of smelly. And she was just like, oh, you have to get out of there. When I went back home, my mom was just asking me questions like, oh, so what's going on? Like, what happened? And I just told her that my teacher was telling me that this was like not the right like place to be at the moment, and she just started to freak out because she knew that my brother Josue is like he gets sick easily, so she was really concerned about him.
Yeah, honestly, when I had offered my home to you guys, I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to hear from you. Like I remember it's like, you know, here's my phone number, go home, like talk to your parents and, you know, let me know what you want to do. So I was really glad. That next day, it was a Saturday, I remember you calling me and you're like, Miss Kang, is the offer still available to come stay at your house?
So in the beginning, we honestly were like, we don't really need any help. Like we have the house, things are okay. But then as we started uncovering more things, like not only was there mold, but the floor was warped. So my parents were concerned about like my brother's health issues. And then if something happened and we accidentally opened something can get out. Like there were snakes that were kind of just in some of the areas. And my mom was hesitant on calling because she was just like, no, like I want to stay here. Like she's a housewife. Like I feel like her job is one of the hardest jobs you can ever have. And so for her, it was really difficult to just leave everything and get out of the house. But she realized like in the end, in that like span of a day, that it was just the best option just to call and find another place to be.
You guys came maybe about a week after like you had called me, and then that following weekend like we all went over and like demoed your house, and that was like, I mean, it was completely gutted.
Yeah.
We like completely had to gut
Yeah.
your house.
Did you like whenever we came, like did you expect like a big family, or was it just like, oh, you're just expecting me? Like what was your mentality?
No, I knew that it was going to be you and your two brothers and your parents, so I went out and like just made sure like we had enough stuff for y'all, and I went and like made those copies of the key to give to you guys so that y'all could just like come in and out as you needed to.
So we've always been taught that whenever we're like in a house that is in our house, we're supposed to be respectful. Like even if they do give you the liberty of like cooking in the kitchen or like doing things in the rooms and stuff, we just wanted to make sure that because of us, your lives didn't turn into something else. Like instead of it being like a 2, it was gonna become like a 7. And so that's more or less what they were considering whenever we moved in and did things in there.
I'm glad like we were able to give y'all this space, like just having that space, right? That safe space. You have a bed that hasn't previously, you know, been underwater, and like you just had that space to kind of be kids. So when did y'all leave the house? Was it in the middle of the night, or like was it the next day?
It was like 2 days later, like towards like maybe midnight to like 4. We were like, no, we have to go. Like, this isn't, we have to just try to find a way to get out of here. I guess the moment that I just started getting really just so overwhelmed and just tired whenever my dad was putting like the blankets from our childhood. So he started stuffing it against like all the like the crevices of the house. And then he started bringing in like the boxes of like pictures just to figure out a way to make the blankets to not start like floating with the water. So it was a moment where like taking everything and throwing it away was just us taking some part of us and just throwing it out. So it was hard for them to take everything and look at it and then discard it, like because it wasn't gonna help anyone. It was already covered in a lot of the mold.
Yeah.
So it wasn't gonna help us, but it was really sad to see all that go away.
Yeah.
How does it feel now without it? Does the house feel a little bit bigger?
It was really weird, like having the house to myself. And then like that Monday morning, like going and getting in the car by myself without you and Miguel. It was like, it felt weird.
Yeah.
Was it Yes that provided all the furniture for your place? Or
They wanted to bring it a week before we were ready, but we were like, no, like the houses are done yet, so don't come. They brought like 2 beds, and they brought the dining table and the chairs, and so we had a place to sit, but we had to kind of share beds because we didn't have like the complete sets and everything. I was telling my mom yesterday, and she started laughing. I was like, it's nice to smell the air of like refineries and like the Pasadena. Like you just know it's Pasadena when you start smelling refinery. And so she started laughing, but there's some truth into it. Like even though it was different, it was just nice to be in my house again. Like just knowing that it was like, if you wanted to yell, you could just start yelling. Like if you wanted to just start running around, it was just cool. It was just like looking at the stuff. He's like, this is my room.
And your dad's already planning to turn into an office when you leave for college, isn't he?
He was thinking about ways to coordinate.
He's like really ready.
Oh my gosh,
ready
Dad.
to go.